Hello.
Hello? Yeah, sure. So I live just on the north-east side of Brisbane, up in sunny Scarborough.
Yes.
I'm an IT consultant by trade. I work in Brisbane City
Okay.
for a consulting firm.
Right.
And so by day I guess I'm a project manager stroke program manager.
Okay. And can you just let me know roughly like a brief history of your Forex experience prior to doing the course?
Absolutely zero.
Okay.
So many years ago in sort of previous life I did work in investments in London. That was more sort of pension life fund management sort of area.
Yes.
But I didn't really get into the actual trading side of things. And then I moved into IT. So it's been quite a long time since I had any exposure to investments generally. So yeah, in terms of Forex, pretty much minimal. I knew what it was, but that was about it.
Okay, that's interesting. And did you take any other courses prior to looking at my course?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so what made you decide to look at some Forex education?
Well, yeah, one of my friends, sort of local friends, started talking about trading on the S&P 500. Sort of, E-minis, I think it's called.
Yes.
So I had a conversation over the weekend with her, and she was quite excited about this course she'd found.
Right.
Different company and different vehicle for trading, I guess. But she was very, very sort of enthusiastic, and it kind of inspired me to start thinking about alternatives in terms of creating wealth for my family and doing something that could be quite interesting, sort of as a hobby to start off with, and maybe even moving towards longer term. So I started doing a bit of research and came across Forex or FX, and basically started sort of investigating the benefits of trading Forex versus E-minis versus shares versus share renting and all those sorts of things. And FX, Forex came out on top in terms of the pros and cons for doing it. So that's how I kind of got interested. And then I did more and more research and discovered yourself.
Okay, so out of all the research that you did, obviously there's more than one education site.
Yeah.
What was it about my site that made you sort of say, well, I want to part with some money and invest in this course? Anything that stood out?
I think it was the sort of the no frills, not too much sales, salesy type way that you presented yourself on your site.
Right.
I was quite impressed with you quite plain speaking and explain things extremely well in terms of what you offer and the fact that it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's very much very serious. You are a trader. You've been a trader for a while, and that you can teach me how to become a trader.
Right.
You didn't set any false expectations in terms of or wild expectations, I guess, in terms of what could be achieved.
Sure.
And I quite like that, and I quite like the sort of the realism of it. That's
Right.
what attracted me to your site. I did look at other sites, other courses. Some were more expensive, some were cheaper. But I thought yours kind of hit on the right level of value for money. You weren't so cheap that you'd think, oh, what am I going to get out of this? And you weren't so expensive where you're thinking, oh, this is too good to be true. I'm not going to part with that much money to do it at this point. So it was kind of right in the middle, I guess, in the sweet spot for me personally as to what I was prepared to invest versus what I could gain out of that investment. So that's mainly what attracted me to your site in the first place.
Okay, and how have you found the course so far? Because I'm not exactly sure how long you've been a client, but it's several months now.
Yeah, so I've been a client since, I guess, the end of August, or maybe just before.
Yeah.
The course is fantastic. It's easy to follow. It's well laid out, and it goes through all of your, I guess, your techniques and theories and processes very, very clearly. I found I could read it. It probably took me about 6 days to read.
Right. Yep.
I was off at the time, so I did spend a fair amount of time. And myself, when I'm interested in something, I get stuck straight in, and I really focus on it. So, and it was easy to read. So from my perspective, I could pick it up, and I didn't want to put it down. I only put it down really when I had to.
Yeah, sure.
I was pretty excited about the opportunity that it could potentially provide me with, and the content was really, really interesting as well. But not too complex. So I didn't pick it up and think, wow, this is just an enormous book on technical trading. You know, it's going to be days, weeks, months to get through, and I'm going to struggle to remember it. It was laid out in such a way that it made it easy to remember, easy to understand, and it wasn't too much. So that's what I really liked about it.
Great, thank you. And any favourite parts about the course so far? Any bits that stand out more than others? I think the fact that you summarise along the way as to what you've learned, and especially at the end where you sort of say, here's your list of almost your armoury, your list of tools that you need to bear in mind when you start looking at the charts and when you start thinking about trading. I think that certainly stood out in as far as being extremely useful. So you took all the good bits that you just learned and summarised them succinctly. Yeah.
That was a good bit.
Do you like the daily trade suggestions and the webinars, the fortnightly webinars?
Yeah, so the trading videos, very, very useful. Watch those time and time again. And what I found interesting about those is, as I learn a different thing every time I watch them.
Right.
So it's strange. So first time you watch them, you kind of, stuff sinks in, but it takes a while, and you pick up some bits, and then you go back 2 weeks later and watch the same video, and you pick something else out. So the trading videos are very, very good. The fortnightly webinars, very, very interesting. I like the fact that you're moving towards sort of interactive trading as well. That's something that I'm very keen on. I mean, the questions you answer, fantastic. The interactive trading side of things is good too. And then on top of that, daily trade. Well, absolutely. I mean, what I'm doing now is looking at the dailies myself and trying to work out what looks good, and obviously then you put your suggestions on your site, which is very, very good too. So it gives you kind of confidence. Certainly when you're starting off, that you're going to have some trades to put on, and they're recommended by yourself, obviously a proven trader. So that gives you the confidence to get started, and then you can progress yourself as well, and maybe put a sneaky one on yourself. Is on yourself, and obviously that cascades down. You get better as you go on. It's only been 3 months, and thoroughly enjoying it. Learning loads every week.
Good. And any trading goals long term? Are you looking at it just for like passive income, or maybe a full-time trader one day?
I would love to be a full-time trader. So whilst I enjoy my job, I would love to be able to trade and only trade and do whatever I want with my life, whether it's spending time with my kids, or voluntary work, or working part-time, doing more kite surfing, which I don't seem to be able to do so much of at the moment. I'd love to do that, absolutely. Yeah. That would certainly be a goal of mine.